Hey guys, today I'm going to take you through a warm-up called a metabolic mobility circuit. And so the idea is going to be that we're going to do moving mobility or active mobility exercises, and we're going to keep flowing through throughout the whole workout. So we're going to do three sets. We've got 12 exercises on the go, and I'll just take you through them as we go. So every time we come to a new exercise, I'll give you a quick demo, and then we'll carry it out. So we're going to do 10 reps of everything, or if it's a single-sided movement, we'll do 5 per side. So everything will add up to 10, and we'll keep flowing through, and I'll do the whole workout with you again today. So let's get going. Weight transfer knee hug is the first one. So we're just going to do a little drop underneath. So kind of like a little single leg drop. Make sure this other leg's off the ground. Then we'll transfer our weight. We're going to come up on one side. Big knee hug, big tall standing position. And then we're going to transfer down again on one leg, transfer to the other, up on the opposite leg. We'll keep going back and forth. So 5 over and backs, or 10 reps total. And again, we're trying to be on one leg as much as we can. Just through the little transition, we're going to end up on 2 legs. All right, so we've got 2 more over and backs, or 4 more total. Up into a big knee hug, tall standing position, butt squeezed. And we drop down and raise up on one foot all the time. And we've got 1 more to the opposite side and a big leg pull. Good, we're going to do an RDL squat to stand up. So 10 of these guys. The idea is we want to practice some hip hinging mechanics. So we're going to drop down. You can start with me. Then I'm going to get down into a deep squat. Just going to reach onto my toes here. I'm going to push my knees out to the side and keep a really tall spine. And from there, I'm just going to stand up. So front view. Tall through the spine, hip hinge, set your position. You're going to reach down. You're going to sit as tall as you can. Get to whatever range of motion you can get to. And then we're going to stand up. So that's 2. We're going to do 10. So we got 8 more. So tall spine, hip hinge position. You're going to reach down, settle your butt down, pick your chest up. After you've mobilized down there for a second, we're going to reach back to the top. RDL, squat, stand, and we've got 6 more. Try to keep our spine super tall. We don't want to round throughout this whole movement. We want to keep the spine always in a nice long position. And again, you're working through whatever range of motion you can work through. Don't forget to push those knees out to the side. Every time you do this, we'll do 2 more. So hip hinge, deep squat, butt down, low, chest up tall. Push those knees out to the side, stand up. And this will be the last one we do here. Hip hinge, sit down into a squat, press on the knees. And then we're going to stand up. So you got a deep squat, hamstring stretch. So same idea. We're going to get nice and deep in that position, whatever position you can get to. And so if your ankles or heels are coming up off the ground, maybe your ankle joint's missing a bit of range, so get down as deep as you can. Try to keep your heel down. If you need to turn your toes out a bit, that's okay. If you're really limited through your ankle joint, you need to pop them off the ground a little bit so you can get a bit more range through your knees and hips. That's fine too. And then we're just going to stand up. You're going to shake the water off your knees, off the back of your legs. And then we're going to sit back down. We're doing 10 of these. All right, so it's a deep squat into a hamstring stretch. We'll drop back down for our 3rd one. We got 7 more. Deep squat, out on the knees, spine nice and tall. And shake it off. Deep squat into a hamstring stretch, and we're halfway there. Deep squat, hamstring. Shake the legs out. Again, sit as deep as you can. Again, if you need to push your toes out, you can push your toes out. We'll do 3 more. Again, if your heel has to come off the ground a little bit, that's okay. The ideal situation would be keep your whole foot on the ground. The best way to make room is just to turn the toes out a little bit if you have to. And we'll do 1 more here. Tall spine, press the knees out. You're going to shake the legs off. And again, with the reach down, just get your hands as low as you can. If you can't get all the way to the ground, that's fine. So the next one, we're going to do a Cossack squat. We'll go to the same side 5 times in a row, and then we'll switch sides. And so on this one today, instead of keeping our toe down, we're actually going to turn our toe up. We're going to try to make a bit more space through our active hip joint. That also allows us to rotate our pelvis a little bit to make a little bit more space. So again, get as deep as you can. So I'll show you a good rep here. So if we can get all the way down, you can turn your toe up, just kind of hang out on the tissue at the bottom and press back up. That's great. If you need something, if you need to go by your couch, or hang on to something to kind of support you in that bottom position, you know, that's okay too. And then press yourself back up. And again, when you get to the bottom, if you need to kind of provide yourself with support, that's fine. All right, so let's go for 3 more of those. Getting into that deep Cossack squat position. With the toe up in the air, you should feel hamstring on this side. You got lots going on with the knees, hips, and ankles on the opposite side. And we're just gonna hang out there, and we're gonna pop back to the top. We'll do one more. Down in a deep Cossack squat, and back up, and then we'll switch sides. So your foot position shouldn't change much here. Nice and wide stance, outside shoulder width. Sit down nice and deep, get as deep as you can. Sit back up to the top. So hip, knee, and ankle on your sort of your active side. And we got lots of hamstring work going on the leg that's staying nice and stiff. Sink back down for 3 more. Sit butt right on top of the heel. Push back out of the movement. Again, whatever range of motion you can get through is fine. Obviously, we're trying to push our range. If you've got some pre-existing stuff going on through your knee, hip, or ankle, this is obviously going to be a bit challenging to get into the deep range, the end ranges. But just work at the movement and do what you can. Good, so we've got a downward dog into a plank. So the idea for this one is we're going to go from a plank position, butt squeeze. Always want to finish the movement. Kind of locking our abs in, squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt muscles. Get in a nice tall spine position. We want to make sure we're not drooped. So squeeze butt, squeeze abs, and we're going to kick up. You're going to work your heel to the floor. Your hand position doesn't need to change. Work your heel to the floor. Again, we're trying to turn our tailbone up. You can see my lower back's a bit rounded. It should be nice and tall, so I'm missing a bit of range through my hamstrings. And then back into a plank. Squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs. We'll do 10 of those. Back into a plank. Kick back up. Touch the floor with your heels. Into a plank. We got 7 more. So downward dog. Into a plank. So when we get up into the kind of like high butt position, downward dog position, try to get your ears as close, as far through your biceps or through your arms as you can. You want to kind of get your head as close to your feet as you can. Mobilize through the shoulder joint while we're mobilizing through the hamstring, at the back position, and through the calf. We'll do 3 more of these. Downward dog, touch the heels, into a plank, squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs. 2 more, and press the head back, squeeze the butt, squeeze the belly, back into it, downward dog, finish in your plank, and we're good. Okay, we're going to do, it's called the world's greatest, or kind of a deep lunge elbow drop with rotation, and we're going to get up. Every time we'll do a tall standing position, and we're going to do 5 of them, and then we'll switch sides. So we're going to sink back into a deep lunge position. You're going to drop your elbow down, and you're going to rotate up. So wherever you feel like there's a lot of tension in the movement, that will stand up. Wherever you feel there's a lot of tension, so typically in the elbow drop and the rotation, you're going to feel a lot of tension. Your body kind of resists the movement. Have a big exhale. Try to get rid of as much tension as we can in our body. So we'll probably start our exhale here, and then get rid of all your air. Try to make space, even draw your belly button in. Make space through your spine there, through your torso, through your thorax, so you can try to get into that rotated position. So we got 3 more. Drop your elbow, rotate up, expire your air, and use mostly your front leg to stand back tall. We'll do 2 more. Drop your elbow down, rotate up. We'll stand up nice and tall. And we're going to do 1 more. Drop into a deep lunge, drop your elbow, reach up toward the ceiling, expire air, stand tall. And also, one thing I haven't mentioned is deep lunge position. Try to keep that back leg nice and straight. Push the back of the knee up toward the ceiling as much as you can. Other side here, drop the elbow, keep that back hip extended. Big air expiration or big exhale. Back to neutral, stand tall, and then sink back down. Elbow drop, reach to the ceiling. Kick that back knee up toward the ceiling. Back up tall, and we got 3 more. Drop the elbow, reach up with a hand, stand back tall. We've got 2. Drop the elbow, big exhale, reach that hand up toward the ceiling. We'll stand up, and we're going to do 1 more of these. Drop the elbow, expire, reach up toward the ceiling, and we're going to stand up tall again. Cool, we got a plank step in, so we're going to get back to that position, that plank position that we've been in for the last couple movements at some point, and we're going to cross our foot underneath. So we always want to finish the butt squeeze and an ab squeeze. Kick your foot up nice and high across your body, so knee is in line with the opposite shoulder. You're going to drop down, keep all the weight on your feet, and we're going to alternate on this one. And so for this one, we're doing 5 per side. Again, 10 total, but we're alternating. Keep your torso up tall. So on this one, you're gonna try to keep that offside butt squeeze. So my right leg at this point is my butt squeezed. But at this, and we are at the same time gonna drop the hips. We're gonna keep the chest up, drop the hips a little bit. And you can try to keep the tension in your feet all the time. So you want to kick that foot nice and far across the body. And let's do 1 more per side. Keep the chest up tall when you drop down. You're going to feel lots of tension through the back and lateral side of your hips, which is great. We're going to keep going with the hips. So we'll do stage 1. I'll show you a more advanced version of this in the second round through. For now, we're just going to flip side to side. You can lean back on your hands, push your torso tall, push your chest and spine long, reach over top, so lean over top of your leg, your front side leg, each time you get over there. Again, we'll do 5 aside and we'll alternate. That's 3 and 4. And again, feel free on this one to lean back on your hands if you need to. And reach that chest over top. Try not to let your spine fall apart. Stay up nice and tall. And we got 4 more, 2 per side. Reach with the chest. Keep the rib cage up. Keep the sternum up. And we'll do 1 more on the left side here and we'll be done. Great. Adductor rocker. So I'm going to, for this one, I'm actually going to turn my toe into plantar flexion. So I'm going to turn my toes down and I'm going to extend my leg out to the side, kind of like we did earlier for the Cossack squat. I'm going to sit back, so hip right over top of the heel. If you're feeling a lot of tension through your knee joint, you can play around with the position, or you can just not drop down quite as far. Opposite of the Cossack squat, we're going to keep our toe on the ground the whole time. So we're going to keep our hip in our ankle in a neutral position. We're going to sit back onto our heel. When you extend up, we're going to squeeze the butt. So we're trying to force extension through the hip with glute activation or hip extension muscle activation. And we're going to drop back down. We'll do 5 of those. There's 2. Big butt squeeze. Lots of extension through this offside leg. There's 3. We've got 2 more. And last one, extend up, and that's great. And again, we're trying to keep the hip and the heel in line with each other. So we're trying not to get our hip inside of our heel. We're gonna sit back, touch your butt on your heel if you can, if your knee allows for it. Remember to keep the toe on the ground on the opposite side. Squeeze the butt. Oh, that's really tight through my adductor on that side. Or sit back on the heel. Sit up nice and tall, squeeze the butt. Don't let the rib cage flare. Sit back down. Tall. You got 2 more. There's 1. Last one here. Good. Supine active hamstring. I'll give you a side view on this one. So we're gonna just hug the back of our leg. So my right leg here is extended. It's down on the floor. I'm thinking about pressing the back of my knee against the floor all the time. I'm gonna keep my knee right over top of my hip. Try not to let it flare to the side. I'm gonna grab the back of my hamstring. Now I'm going to try to relax my upper body here, head down on the floor. And I'm going to extend up. I'm going to squeeze my quad. And I'm going to keep this hip flexed as deep as I can. And so that's my end range right there. And then I'm going to drop back down. I'm going to hug that knee in a little closer to my chest. And then as I'm uncoiling my knee, I'm going to have to give a bit away on hip extension. I'm missing a bit of range through, like I mentioned earlier, through the hamstring. We've got 3 more of these. Big quad squeeze to get that knee into extension. Find your end range slowly. Come back down. Hug the knee in, the quad in close to the chest. We'll do 2 more. Tuck your chin. Big quad squeeze. You want to feel your quad flare up there. Relax your shoulders. Big squeeze and drop back down. Good. You can relax. Don't forget this offside. Keep a little bit of tone through your glutes. Try to keep the back of the knee pressed against the ground. So I'm going to hug this knee in toward the chest. Big quad squeeze again. Good. I should feel lots of tension on both sides. Lots of tension through the quad, but also lots of kind of mobilizing or extension tension through my hamstring. Back down, knee hug, drive it up. Keep lots of tension between the hamstrings and the hands. Make it hard to get into extension. Good. You've got 2 more. We've got 2 more here. Big quad squeeze. Extend the knee. Drop back down. And we'll extend back up. And we're good. Awesome. We've got 1 more. And so we've got 2 more. So we've got a back bridge with reach. The idea here, we're going to alternate sides again. We're extend up,
And we're going to have a big reach up overhead. You might feel a little bit of mobility through your offside obliques or abs. The hips stay fairly square, but they're going to rotate a bit. The big thing is we don't give away our feet. So don't let your feet raise up off the floor. Use those as levers or pressure points to get yourself extended. So first we extend up, and then we reach across the body in a rotational pattern, and we come back down. So we're going to do 5 of those per side. This is number 3 of 10. Drop back down, butt to the floor. Big hip extension, big reach over the top. That's 4. Opposite side. Number 5, reach back as far as you can. Think we're reaching back for an object, trying to grab it off the ground. That's 6. We've got 4 more. Big reach back, rotation, 7. Hip extension, reach. We've got 2 more. Drop back down and raise it back up. Good, excellent. All right, the last one you're gonna do, again, try to make this an active movement. It's called an ankle roll. So we're gonna go lateral border of the foot, and the arch are gonna press into the floor. And from here, I'm gonna think about using my feet to transfer the weight of my whole body. So I wanna think about having a bit more pressure on my right side here now than my left. And again, I'm gonna use my feet to actively push my body weight to the opposite side. So we're doing 10 of these. This is number 4. If you fell behind, you can catch up. And I'm gonna get to the opposite side. I'm gonna use my feet to lead the weight transfer. And again, we're trying to press the arch against the floor. I'm trying to get all the way to the lateral border of my foot as much as I can. 4 more. And we're gonna use our feet to do that. Activate the muscles. You should feel your kind of tib anteriors or tibialis anteriors, they're called, the front side of your shin bone. Muscles beside your shin bone, they should be active. Feel those activate, feel the muscles through your feet activate and potentially elongate or lengthen out. We've got 2 more. Good, you've got the last one. Good, all right, that's great. So the idea of this workout was that it would be somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. And so we're about 17 minutes in there. So we'll do 2 sets today. That's the idea, and we'll roll through. So we'll get through a little bit quicker. So what took us about 17 minutes the first set, hopefully takes us around 30 minutes. Little metabolic mobility is what I had in mind for today. So this is good. We'll keep going. Weight transfer, maybe I'll talk a little bit less in the second half. Weight transfer, drop underneath on one leg, transfer your weight, stand up tall, hug your knee, same thing going back. So we've got 10 of these again, 5 per side. Knee hug, make sure we're on one leg on the way down. Whoa. One leg on the way up. And yeah, try to spend as much time on one leg as you can. Don't forget, when you come up to the top, you want to squeeze your butt of your offside hip. Lock that hip in, maybe draw your belly button in a little bit. We've got 4 more. So lots of hip extension. Trying to get rid of any spinal extension you might have. All right, drop down underneath. Spend as much time as you can on one foot. From here, we want to drop, instead of transferring the weight, drop straight down. Get to the opposite side and up. Let's do 1 more per side here, guys. Down, transfer, up, down, transfer, up. Cool. RDL, squat, or hip hinge, squat, and then stand up. We'll go a bit quicker like I mentioned. So drop, tall spine, squat down, press out on the knees, and stand back up on your squat. Hip hinge, squat, press the knees, stand up. We got 10 of them, 8 more. Hip hinge, squat, press the knees and stand. Keep moving. Again, get as much range as you can when you're going through these movements. Hip hinge, always keep a long spine. Don't forget step number 3, so hip hinge, squat. Step number 3 is get a little adductor or groin mobility in there right before you stand up. Good, we'll do 4 more. Tall spine, still a tall spine. Stand up in a nice squat position. Hip hinge, press the knees out. Do 2 more. Tall spine, squat down deep, press the knees out, stand up. Last one. Hip hinge, squat down, press the knees, and stand tall. All right, deep squat hamstring stretch. So a little bit of the same. We'll just get a little bit different pattern in here. So hamstring stretch, reaching down to the floor on this one. Don't worry so much about that tall spine position. Let's actually kind of let our tension just fall onto our spine a little bit. Get a little bit of posterior side mobility, and then we're going to sit into a squat.
All right, so we'll go back and forth, shake the knees and drop, up, shake the knees and drop. We got 7 more. Shake the knees and drop. The one thing you do want to do is at the very bottom, try to get your spine up. Good, we're halfway there, but when you're at the top of the movement here, just let the tissue of the spine carry the load here. 4 more. Deep squat. Deep squat. We got 2 more here. Big reach for the ground. And we sit down, sit tall. And then last one. Sit up nice and tall in that squat. A little pressure on the inside of the knee. Good stuff. All right, we've got our Cossack squat 5 per side. And so we'll go one side at a time. Feet out nice and wide. After we've done 5 toe up Cossack squats, we're going to get to the opposite side. And again, we'll just roll through these a little bit quicker than we did last time around. Good. Again, don't be shy to use your hands to counterbalance, or if you need to grab the side of the couch or a chair, bedside, whatever you have close to you, if you need to grab that, that's fine. Whatever support you need. And again, if anything's bugging your knees, hips, ankles, lower back for whatever reason, and you need to avoid certain ranges, absolutely do so. The reason we do a workout like this is do a little bit of a regen, a little bit of a midweek break, but we never want to be getting worse doing something like this. All right, well, or anything in general, but there's certain times you might want to push through muscle tightness and muscle soreness. But even a day like today, especially through the joints, we definitely, today's not that day for sure. Okay, so we're going to do a downward dog plank pulse, we call it. Lock it in with the abs and glutes, up into your downward dog, touch your heels on the floor, press your head through your hands or through your elbows, back down to the downward dog, or sorry, at the plank, up to the downward dog, back to the plank. We'll keep rolling here. So we got 6 more. Up into the downward dog, back to the plank. Okay, keep moving. Try to get those heels to the floor. We'll do 4 more. Don't forget to lock in with your abs and your glutes when you get to the bottom. We'll do 3 more. Keep those legs nice and straight throughout the whole movement. And again, trying to push the tailbone up toward the ceiling all the time. I've got a good demo for a rounded spine. We're trying to get that spine nice and flat, so try to push that tailbone up to flatten out your spine at the top of that movement. All right, we'll get to the world's greatest on the spot for the deep lunge, elbow drop, and rotation. Don't forget to expire on the way up, and we'll roll through this one a little bit quicker again. So we'll drop down into our lunge, drop your elbow, big exhale, reach up to the ceiling, and we're going to stand up nice and tall. Drop back down, drop your elbow, reach up to the ceiling, and we'll stand up nice and tall. Don't forget that expire. I'll keep talking as we're going here. But for you, we're going to have a big exhale. Get rid of all that tension through your torso when you rotate up toward the ceiling. Try to get as much range as you can. Good. We're going to do 1 more on this side, and then we'll switch it up right away. So number 5, drop the elbow, press the back side of the back knee up toward the ceiling, and then we do a big reach. Other side here, guys. So for me, it's the left side. Left elbow drops down. Left hand reaches up toward the ceiling. I stand up nice and tall, squeeze the butt at the top, and I drop back down. Elbow, hand, and I press into the floor with my front leg, and I come up on one foot, squeeze that butt muscle, and drop back down. So we'll do 3 more here, including this one. Back up to the top. Don't forget to keep that back knee up off the ground. Squeeze that back glute through the whole movement. Be an active participant in the mobilization process here. Drop the elbow down, reach the hand up, and exhale. We'll stand back up to the top. Good. All right. So we go back into our plank. We're going to do a plank step in. All right, remember the leg that's not active, that leg stays straight. We want to keep that offside glute active all the time. Also think about squeezing your abs. Make this a little bit of a core exercise. Kick the foot all the way across underneath your opposite shoulder. Drop down. Try to keep all the weight on your feet. Then we'll kick to the opposite side. And we'll switch again. We're doing 10. We're alternating side to side. This is number 5. We're halfway there. Number 6. Need 2 more, 1 per side. Backside glute active. Keep your chest up. Keep the tension on your feet. Good. All right, from there we're going to the sleeper stretch. So I told you I'd show you an advanced version of this the next time around. And so the idea is that instead of leaning back and using our hands, we're going to sink into our hip joint a little bit more. And then we finish the same. Chest up, lean over top, and then we switch to the other side. If this is not in your playbook, feel free just to stick with the sleeper stretch by all means. We have lots of different athletes that are in all different places, all the way from step 0, which is a sleeper stretch, up until the advanced number 5 version. And so we're doing 10 of these again. So by all means, wherever you are with this, stick there. Yeah, challenge yourself obviously, but stay within your means. Always finish with a tall spine here. And we're gonna go over, and we'll come back one more time. I'm moving forward here. Good, that's great. Adductor rocker. So remember, the hip and the heel stay in alignment. I'm gonna kick my foot out to the side. I'm gonna sit back, and again, I don't want to sit inside of my heel. Up, squeeze the butt, and drop back down. And again, don't let the rib cage flare up. Keep those abs on. Maybe draw your belly button in a little bit as we're squeezing our butt muscle. We're gonna do 5 of these again. Full hip extension, trying to get that body nice and long. Big squeeze. We're gonna do 2 more. Big squeeze in that butt. Keep the toe down here, toe pointed straight ahead. And we drop back down, and we're good. And then we switch sides. And we drop into it. And we extend up and squeeze. Drop again. And up. 3 more. Drop. To the top. And we've got 1 more. Keep that toe in the ground. Feel lots of stretch through the adductor. A little squeeze through your butt. That's great. We've got a supine active hamstring stretch. And so this is the one where we lay on our back. We relax our head and our upper back, our T-spine onto the floor. Remember, this leg stays straight. Put a little pressure into the floor with this leg. Lots of extension. Think about pressing the back of the knee into the floor. And I reach up with my foot. I squeeze my quad while I resist hip extension with my hands. And I drop back into it, and I pull that quad nice and snug to my chest. And then I go again. All right, so you've got 3 more of these. And I squeeze the quad. And I drop back down. We've got 2 more. And this is going to be the last one right here. Keep that bottom toe pointed up toward the ceiling all the time. That's good. We'll switch sides. Bottom toe up toward the floor, up toward the ceiling. And back of the knee against the ground. A little bit of pressure on the floor. And we're going to squeeze the quad, resist hip extension with your hands. And then we're going to pull the knee back in, pull the quad back into the chest. We've got 4 more. Big squeeze and drop. So you got kind of a little 1-second quad squeeze there at the top. Drop back down. And then back up for 2 more. Big squeeze and drop. And last one, resist. Drop back down. And we're good. Done with the active hamstring. Got the back bridge reach over. So for this one, remember, we're going to go into our hip extension first. And then we'll reach as far as we can. We're going to get a little rotation. You're going to feel maybe a little mobility through your obliques on the opposite side. And then we'll drop back down. Everything drops back down to the floor. We're passive for a second. Then we extend up. So extend through the hip. Big roll. Big reach. Don't let your feet give anything. And we drop back down. Big hip extension. Reach the other way. And drop back down. We'll keep rolling back and forth. We've got 10. You should feel your offside glute. So if I roll to my right, I'm going to feel big glute activity through my left side. You should feel like your opposite foot's pushing you into rotation. Good. We got 5 more. Good. 4 more. Hip extension. Big push off the opposite foot. And then a big roll off that inside shoulder. Reach all the way around. 2 more. And this is the last one. Big reach. Push off the outside foot. Good. And then we're back up. And we're going to get to our ankle roll. So we've got, remember, to be active in this movement. Get as much pronation, supination range as you can get through your ankle joint. And think about your feet pushing the weight transfer. So I push myself side to side. 4, 5. My feet are active participants in this. I should feel this. I should feel it through my tibia anterior, the muscles beside your shin. Yeah, we'll do 2 more here. Push yourself side to side. Good. All right. Guys, thanks again so much for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow night.